every day is our theme and our state of the city. Before I get into why we're stronger every day, and I always think about these state of the cities as kind of a closing argument on the one hand to prove my assertion that we're stronger every day, and on the other hand, kind of a revival meeting, because we all love Costa Mesa, do we not? Let's hear it. Good. So we got some ground rules here. Everybody can clap as much as they want. Everybody can laugh as much as they want. Even if the jokes aren't funny, you could still laugh. I'm going to introduce people, hoot and holler. When I say something you believe in, let's hear you. We live in the great city of Costa Mesa, which I think is the greatest city in the entire world. There's no city with the weather. There's no city with the fairgrounds. There's no city with the greatest shopping center in the entire world, South Coast Plaza, that we're going to hear about. There's no city with the soon-to-be-leaving professional football team that almost won their first game. We'll hear, that was a tough game. 7 lead changes. We'll hear about our police department. You'll hear about our fire department and why we're stronger every day in the great city of Costa Mesa. Thank you, though, to our servers. Thank you to everybody at the Hilton. I'm not going to give you as much of an extensive personal background as David did, but I will say this, so we're at the Hilton. It used to be the Red Lion, if you remember. I spent my first night in Costa Mesa here at what was then the Red Lion. And it was on a callback interview for Rutan and Tucker, who has now left us to go to Irvine, unfortunately. I didn't take the offer. But the one thing I'll never forget about that night is it's the first time I saw a telephone in the toilet, in the bathroom. And of course, there were no cell phones. This is to put it in perspective. This is 1987. And I was equal part amazed and grossed out by that. Thank you to Tony Dodero for, he wrote that line. I told him, I go, Tony, they don't want to hear about the bathroom. And he says, you've got to put that line in there. And Hadassah Jakar, thank you. She's put together all these images, and thank you for everything you've done for this. Okay, stronger every day. I've got 10 reasons. Then we get to the panel. I will be disciplined. I will go through these quickly. Way better than last year. You know, last year the theme was like, does anybody know what time it is? You know, that was the theme last year. This year, it's stronger every day. Sticking with the Chicago. First thing, number 10, in no particular order, the City Council returned. The City Council returned. Our great City Council member, there they are. Look at their beautiful faces. Lauren Gameros, Don Harper, Manuel Chavez, and the big guy in the middle. And then we've got Mayor Pro Tem Harlan, Andrea Marr, and Arliss Reynolds. It's significant because it's the first time in the last 40 years that we've had the same city council before an election and after the election, and it's only happened twice in the great history of Costa Mesa, which we're in the 70th year, by the way, and it's only happened twice. And we have in our midst somebody who was on that 1982 city council. Arlene Schaefer, would you please stand up and be recognized? She's still serving the community on the sanitary board, so that's Arlene. Number 9, we're a cutting-edge city in terms of technology. We have a new website, which is quite a thing. We have other things we're going to tell you about technology in a little bit on another slide. Thank you to Steve Ely and his team. Steve Ely is the director. He's the most resourceful IT director in Orange County. He's great with all of the computers and all the software, and he puts it together with bubble gum and a paper clip. But we're on a plan to get him the technology that he deserves. Thank you, Steve. Okay. Number 8, we're committed to housing. We're committed to housing. I know that Nate Robbins is here. Nate Robbins, who heads up our shelter and our homelessness effort, and John Began, who is runs our shelter. We have provided 300 opportunities. So 300 people through our bridge shelter and our outreach have gone from homelessness on the street to permanent housing. That's a major accomplishment. And we're also doing our part for permanent supportive housing. So under construction, as you may have seen on Newport Boulevard, is a project, Home Key project, that is run by, it's being developed by the Community Development Partners and run by Mercy House, and that's going to provide 89 homes for seniors and veterans right here in the city of Costa Mesa. While we've done great work in terms of homelessness, there's definitely more to do. It's a permanent problem. And so what we've done is the council has voted to expand our shelter. Our shelter is now going to go up to 100 beds. And thank you also to Newport Beach and Lauren Kleiman, who's here. Thank you to all the Newport Beach council members and staff for partnering with us. It's one of the best partnerships in terms of addressing homelessness in the entire county of Orange. We also, thanks to the county and Katrina Foley, are bringing on something that's a major gap in our service, and we just approved this. We're going to have mental health and drug rehab, counseling, and treatment right in our shelter. We've never had that. We're bringing it to Costa Mesa. We're going to bring more opportunities for people to get from the street to a place that's warm and safe and dry. We have people that 47% of the people in the great city of Costa Mesa, as great as it is, live at either low income, very low income, or extremely low income. So we have people all the time that are on the edge of homelessness, and we, through the council, were able to give 275 to 275 individuals rental relief for $1 million to keep people in their homes. We have a great project in Manny Chavez's district. It's called the Bungalow. The city contributed gap funding of $975,000 to that. It's a family project, permanent supportive housing for 46 individuals in 8 units. It's a beautiful project right in Manuel Chavez's district. All right, and now Liz Parker, get ready. Get ready, I'm going to go there. Measure K passed. Measure K passed. Come on, that's not a hoot. Give me a hoot, Liz Parker. It passed by a massive mandate of 22 votes. 22 votes. Thank you for Jennifer Lee and everybody at the Developmental Services Department for everything they did to get that through. And also thank you to Brenda Green, who ran a great election both on the city side, city council side. She's our city clerk, and also with Measure K. So what does that mean? I'm not going to give you the difference between Y and K and all that stuff. All I'm saying is it's opening up the city to much needed housing development, and we're starting to see on the west side and north of the 405 some interest in building homes in Costa Mesa before that we haven't seen in 6 years, and that's because of Measure K, so thank you for that. We have, number 7, we have a dynamic and great police department. Everybody, let's hear it. Police, stand up and be recognized. I'll tell you a few things about the police department, but we have a great leader, a transformational leader in Chief Ron Lawrence, and last Thursday was his 2nd anniversary with the city, and so we're grateful to have you. Don't listen to Tom about the golf game. You played just fine. So what he's done is he's really transformed the city, and not only like technical things, which I'm going to get into in a second, but also the spirit and the culture of the department. So the motto now, and this is created through the department created this, the motto of the police department in Costa Mesa is honored to serve. And when they walk into their briefing room, they see 4 words. The 4 words are empathy, professionalism, courage, and integrity. And I can tell you by personal experience and from what I've heard, we have never had a higher level of customer service than we have from our police department right now. And Jason Chomness is here. I'll tell you a little funny story. So Captain Jason Chomness was just promoted to captain. So when I called and congratulated him, he said, Molly, you'll get like this. He says, we're aiming for a Nordstrom level of service in the police department. We have these license plate readers that are all over. You might see them. Through the license plate readers, if there's a stolen car, we can find it. We can make arrests. We can return that to the person who lost the car. We've made 57 such arrests, and we've collected $740,000 worth of stolen cars. Thank you, police. Pro tip, though, don't drive your stolen cars around Costa Mesa. Stay someplace else, because you will get caught. We have a new $1 million mobile command unit that we've been waiting for a long time. It's beautiful, and it's going to help us through disasters if we have them, God forbid, but community events and things like that. We're also fighting, the real scourge that we're dealing with right now is fentanyl. So our police department is really focused on that. They've taken 9 pounds of powdered fentanyl off the street and 250,000 fentanyl pills. They've also partnered with the Newport Mesa School District. Newport Mesa School District, let's hear you. It's a very serious thing, but they've partnered with them to teach the teachers about Narcan and how to save lives. There you are, Wes. I see you. And every single day on every single shift, it seems that there's some issue in our department, in our fire department, in our police department with fentanyl. And thank you for everything you guys do. You truly have saved, dozens, if not hundreds, of lives because of your great work. We are a destination department again. Since 2022, we've hired 44 people in the department, and we have a new deputy chief, Joyce LaPointe. And recently, I didn't know this till this morning, we just recently got a competitive grant for $3.5 million to go after the people that are organized retail criminals. So, moving on to the fire department. We have 6 new firefighters. 100 people applied for those jobs. 100 people. We are truly a destination fire department. The thing about the fire department now that's different than it's ever been is all the wildfires they go on. And they've been on 15 wildfires since the last state of the city. They're regarded as one of the best departments in terms of mutual aid in the state of California. So let's hear it for our fire department. And I got to recognize, of course, Papa Bear Dan Stefano. He's on top of the food chain there, Jason Pyle, who's right behind him, and John Neal over here, his assistants. Thank you very much. Okay, our financial house is in order. That's number 5. Carol Molina's our finance director. We have a balanced budget this year. We've exceeded our goals by our reserve goals by $2.8 million. We now have reserves of $57.8 million. Our goal is $55 million. We have, let's see, what else? Oh, every year we get this, but I got to say it. Every year we get an award for the great work that our finance department does on their financial statements. So that's our finance department. We're planning for the future. Jennifer Lee and her great department of developmental services. People are wondering what's going to happen at Fairview Developmental Center. How many of you have asked that question? So we've got $3.5 million in grants that we're devoting to working on that project. There's 100 acres there, and we're looking to put about 2,300 homes there, mixed use, mixed income. It's going to be quite a place, and thank you for taking the lead, Jennifer, with your department. Thank you very much. We have a new thing, and this is revolutionary for people that deal with the city. It's called TESSA. TESSA is, I don't know what TESSA stands for, but all I know is that every single application that goes through the city now goes through this web-based process, and there are 7 steps to every single application, all the way from applying for major entitlements to a park permit. So thank you very much for the hard work of not only the developmental services department, but also the IT department. I mentioned Steve Ely earlier. This is a multi-departmental thing that we were able to pull off. So Tessa. It is the year of the parks. It is the year of the parks. We have $15 million in public works grants that we've received from Dave Min, Cotty Petrie-Norris, and Katrina Foley to build out our parks. T. Winkle Park, Fairview Park, Jack Hammett, and others. And our Raja Setharaman is busy just with that project. The other thing that we're doing, which is really exciting, is opening up some of the school sites and working with the school district to provide more open space, particularly on the west side of Costa Mesa, to people that live there. So thank you very much for the collaboration. We've got a number of people from the school district. Thank you for your collaboration on that. While we're at Parks, it just has a note. I have to say this. We had a great 3rd of July. Who was at the 3rd of July event? Yeah. The Tijuana Dogs rocked it. It was great. There was over 7,000 people at that event. Mark your calendars right now. July 3rd, Tijuana Dogs, 5 o'clock, be at the fairgrounds. Thank you very much, too, for the Orange County Fair and Event Center, Michelle Richards, Ken Carnes, and their team for all of the cooperation on that event. Thank you very much. Okay. Smattering of applause for the people at the fairgrounds. I don't know what that's about. Maybe they had a bad fried Twinkie or something like that. Okay, so okay, I always report on this. Our pavement condition index is 89. It's 3rd in the county. We've done some wonderful projects in public works. Again, Raja Setharaman's group. We've paved Wilson Street. We paved Placentia, West 19th Street. And every time we pave these streets, we work on making them safer for cars, but also safer for pedestrians and safer for bikes. So you'll see in this image of the bike lane, the protected bike lane, and you'll see those coming up on Placentia. Okay. Now, I'm done talking about what's going on at Fair Drive, but I want to talk to you about the real reason we're stronger every day, and it's because of the great community. So some community highlights since the last State of the City. ACMA opened, Orange County Museum of Art. It opened in October of 2022, and in the first 6 months, there were 100,000 people that went to ACMA. And to put it in perspective, the average number of people that went on an annual basis in Newport Beach was 10,000. So they get 20 times the attendance. The attendance is free. If you haven't been to ACMA, go to ACMA. The fair, as I said, had a great year. Happy together. Everything was great. They do so many great events at the Fair and Event Center. We're so pleased to have them in the city of Costa Mesa. One of the things that's going to happen next month, watch for it, is the Sustainability Decathlon. That's October 5th through 15th. It's going to be a great event, so look for that. We have in the house, I see Theodore Robbins Ford is here. They celebrated 100 years in business. Theodore Robbins Ford. Jim and Dave Robbins, they always support this event. They support so many events. Thank you very much. It's a real honor to have recognized that at a city council meeting. We have great sports teams, CIF victories, Estancia softball, Newport Harbor volleyball, which they seem to win almost every year. Costa Mesa High School swim teams. The Orange Coast College women's basketball team won the state championship. All right, go Pirates. The Costa Mesa Pony went down to New Orleans, Louisiana, and took the World Series in the whole United States. So let's hear it for Pony. Take that, El Segundo. And I was talking to Frank Albers, and this is a late addition to the city State of the City script. He told me that in the city of Costa Mesa, 725 girls are now playing flag football. For Matt Leinert. Matt Leinert flag football, 725. And 52? Okay, yeah, I'm dyslexic. 752 girls. I don't want to leave out those last few girls. And I said, well, how many boys? He said, 1,400 boys play flag football in the city of Costa Mesa. Our Little League team took TOC and All-Stars in District 62 championship, and they have over 600 players that play in that league. Our great Orange County model engineers at Goat Hill Junction, they refurbished and dedicated the Hanks Horsfeld trestle. The dear departed Chargers, they had their last training camp here. We gave them the key to the city, and off they go to the dreaded El Segundo. But the Chargers, you know what they say, you can take the football team out of the town, but you can never take the town out of the football team. So they'll always be the Costa Mesa Chargers. And here's something exciting, and then I have one thank you, and we'll get to the panel. Wasn't this fast and content rich? We have something exciting. So in 2026, we're in the running for having a FIFA team come to the city of Costa Mesa and practice in the city. This is so major, especially depending on the team. So the Moroccan team in Qatar brought 30,000 fans from Morocco. So imagine if we get like France or something like that. We'll be overrun with French men and women. And thank you to Travel Costa Mesa, who's here, and Orange County Sports Authority, because we're contenders, and let's do everything we can to get it. And all of this stuff that happens at 77 Fair Drive is all pulled together by our courageous city manager, Lorianne Farrell Harrison. She deserves a big... And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the state of the city. Okay. Now let's see what the verdict is. How many of you think that Costa Mesa is, in fact, stronger every day? You got to raise your hand. Raise your hand. All right. Now, how much does my client get? No, just kidding. Okay, so now I'm going to call up the panel. We have three great panelists. First, I'm going to call up, so here's what we're going to do. So the panel, this is my idea. I stole it from the county in a way. We're going to have a panel, and the panel is job creators. So Tom and I are going to lob to the panel some questions, and they're going to give us an idea of their business, how many people that work there, what type of things do they do, and what are their challenges, and it's very interesting. We've got really an all-star panel, and I'm so happy and fortunate that they have agreed to do this. Molly Unger is the general manager of South Coast Plaza. She joined South Coast Plaza and the Segerstrom family business as the first female general manager in 2021, bringing over 25 years of experience in the shopping and retail industry. She has a passion for creating not only the best customer experiences on site, but throughout the community she serves. She's a graduate of the University of Arizona. She holds a degree. She holds a psychology degree and a certificate of achievement from UCLA Anderson School in Executive Education. Welcome, Molly Unger. From the great family business, which we'll hear about, Northgate Market, Joshua Gonzalez. Joshua is currently a strategist at Northgate Market. He's a third-generation family member. We're going to hear a bit about his family, and works alongside his family. Some of them are here to offer their customers the best Mexican products and authentic experiences. Northgate is passionate about serving the community. Joshua graduated from Cal State Fullerton with a bachelor's degree in business administration, and he went to USC and graduated with a master's MBA from USC. he just had his first child, Camilla, and they enjoy doing community work, exercising, and spending time with the family. Joshua Gonzalez. Matt Grimm. Matt Grimm. Is Matt in the house? Matt, baby. Come on down. Matt Grimm is the co-founder and CEO of Anduril Industries, which you're going to hear about. It's a fascinating company here where he oversees all global business operations, including procurement, manufacturing and supply chain initiatives, facilities and security, people management and finance. Prior to Anduril, Matt was a principal at Mithril Capital Management, where he invested in growth company strategies. He's got a long bio, so I'm going to truncate it and say he's been very in the space of technology and working with the military and keeping our troops safe and coming up with interesting and innovative ideas. That's what he's been doing for his career. He's a wonderful guy. We're glad he's in Costa Mesa. Matt Grimm. And Tom Johnson's going to join me, and we're going to co-moderate this. It's the key to the city. You got to give it back. Nobody's giving you the key to the city, Tom. I'm just teasing. I love Tom. All right. So we're ready to go.
Let's do it. Why don't we start off, John, by talking about the challenges these different businesses. We have a family-owned business. We have somebody that does business on a world stage through contracts and things, and we have probably the largest, most successful retail organization, arguably in the world. They all have their different challenges in hiring. So why don't we start there on the challenges you face in this job market to get people to come to work. Molly, why don't you jump in first?
Thanks. Way to throw me under the bus first. You know, the unique thing about South Coast Plaza is the elements of how many people that we hire and how many people our retailers hire. So the problem is not just mine, it is the house of all 300 plus retailers. And when you think about the job opportunities at an establishment like South Coast Plaza, you have everything from the first-time stock boy who's getting minimum wage, you have Michelin star chefs, you have engineers, you have personal shoppers, retail clerks, cashiers, waiters, and think about the contractors and construction work that all happens overnight. The job opportunities are huge out there, but it also gives us the opportunity of not having enough. And there's a lot of opportunity is how do we engage them? How do we attract that talent to come to Costa Mesa and to South Coast individually?
So Molly, just give us a sense of scope. So how many people work in the retail stores? How many people work for South Coast Plaza? And then you mentioned construction. There's construction going on there all the time. So give us an idea of how many people are employed there.
For South Coast Plaza itself, we employ over 300 individuals between security and engineers and our concierge staff. So we have about 300. When you think of South Coast Plaza as a whole, it ranges from 5,000 in the quieter times to over 9,500 during the peak season of holiday. When you look at, again, not everybody thinks about what happens overnight. You know, South Coast Plaza is 24/7. Because all those contractors who are building those amazing new stores, we don't allow them to do it during the day when you're shopping. So right now, this year, we have had over 55 construction jobs happening at the plaza overnight, which means over 300 contract jobs overnight. When most of you are at home sleeping, that many are in the plaza.
Amazing. So Matt, introduce us to Anduril.
Sure.
It's kind of shrouded in mystery up there by IKEA.
Sure.
And introduce us to yourself too. He's a former resident of Costa Mesa, Matt.
Very recently former, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to commend you and compliment you on navigating the myriad Tolkien names there in the introduction. That was great. Anduril, Mithril, Palantir, all of them.
Yeah.
So good work. So Anduril Industries, we're a defense technology company. We're venture backed. We've raised about $2.5 billion from venture capitalists. We started the company in 2017 here in Costa Mesa. We were on 3000 Airway Ave, right on the side of John Wayne there, and then after a couple of misguided years, we moved over to Irvine, and we don't like to talk about that here, but we were over there in Irvine for a couple of years, and now we're headquartered over at the old LA Times press facility right next to Chargers headquarters and right adjacent to South Coast. So we've grown to about 2,000 employees globally over across 14 offices. The majority of those are here in Orange County. Got about 1,100 employees here in Orange County, and statistics that John particularly likes. The average salary across those 1,100 or so employees here in Orange County, I ran numbers this morning, is $164,000 for each of those. So just on salaries alone, and that's before we talk about customers or candidates or vendors or any of that. On salaries alone, that's about 170 some odd million dollars flowing through the community. So all of those folks, like they're our neighbors, they're your customers, they're vendors, they're partners in the community. So we're pretty proud of what that impact to Costa Mesa has been, and John and the city have been excellent partners to us in helping scale that growth. So we build a variety of defense products, as John mentioned, everything from robotic submarines to drones for the military, for missiles now. We're entering into what you could kind of call tanks. They're robotic combat vehicles. We have a whole wide variety of things, primarily designed and some of them manufactured right here in Orange County. So pretty excited about all that.
All right, thanks. So Joshua, welcome to the city of Costa Mesa. Welcome to Northgate Market. The question that I have been asked more often in the last 2 years as the mayor is, when is Northgate Market going to open?
Yes.
So I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. So I want to ask this in public. So first of all, when is it going to open? And tell the crowd about Northgate Market, about what we have in store for us there, and about the story and the history of your company, which is fascinating. I think that everybody would be really interested in that.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here. We're very excited to be in Costa Mesa. This has been a dream of ours for over 20 years to be in Costa Mesa. We are opening the store in the beginning of November, and very excited about that. Our story is one of immigrants. Our parents, I have 5 of my cousins here today and 4 of our leaders from Northgate. It's the story of immigrants from Mexico. Our grandparents and parents came here pursuing a better life for their family, and in 1980 opened a small 2,000 square foot store in Anaheim on Anaheim Boulevard, together trying to pursue a better life. And thank you to the communities and the customers and all of our team members. Today we have 43 stores in Southern California. We have 6,000 team members at Northgate, and we're very passionate about food and authentic experiences and giving those opportunities to our people. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. And so right here, the store and it's in the shopping center, the Harbor Shopping Center, yeah, right on Wilson and Harbor, for those of you that don't know. And ICI is here. Thank you very much. You guys run a great center over there. But how many people are going to be employed right there?
We're going to have over 350 associates, team members at our Costa Mesa location.
Okay. Joshua, the last follow-up question I have about that is, tell about how the kind of the unique features of this 44th store in Costa Mesa, the entertainment, the prepared food, and even the incubator kitchen that we've talked about.
Definitely. As we went, back to the drawing board and said, what are we going to do different and special as an organization for Costa Mesa, but also going forward in this next phase of innovation, we looked at, what markets do today and many of those assumptions that are in the space, and said, how can we challenge those assumptions and look at an experience differently? Many of you know prepared foods has become a big part of the market. Unique products and own brand products have become more and more important, and there's a big way to innovate in that space. So here in Costa Mesa, we're bringing you the latest and greatest, a concept that we worked on for over 2 years to be able to deliver. And what we're going to have here is regional foods from all of Mexico. We're going to have entertainment. We're going to have a bar. We're going to have a lounge. We're going to have a full-scale bakery. And the passion is behind bringing that story of the many Mexicos to Costa Mesa. Many people know certain regions of Mexico, many of the northern parts of Mexico, but many people don't know that Mexico has many Mexicos. Southern Mexico is very different in its culture and cuisine and ingredients and art than it is from central or northern Mexico. So we're very excited, and that's coming to Costa Mesa.
So we kind of led into this on job creation and needs and things like that. What are the different challenges you have, Joshua? You said you need to hire 350 associates. I'm assuming from all different ranges and everything. How do you find the people and attract the people, and not only that, keep the people over the long haul in an operation like this?
I think the first point is being an organization that really believes in people and invests in people, whether it be through education, development, and we see that in the industry you typically have about 30% full-time associates or team members and about 70% part-time. We are the opposite as an organization. We hire 70% full-time and only 30% part-time. We do that because we understand that it's important for our team members to have, a job and a career where they can actually live from. We also are, very invested in 401k plans, making sure that we have very good healthcare plans. We do quite a bit behind scholarships. This year we gave over $350,000 to our team members in scholarships. And it's about figuring out what are the needs states of our team members, always being connected and in touch, and understanding what are the needs, because they change, right? Many don't change, but we're very passionate about our people, and that helps us retain and attract quite a bit of talent.
Great. So Matt, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing at Anduril?
Well, we face a number of challenges in recruiting, and then in slightly less so in retention. In recruiting, especially in the technology sector, largely fueled by the venture capital boom of the last 5 years, it's an incredibly competitive market, and especially on salaries, which are of course driven by cost of living and some of the relocation challenges. In particular, I have a pretty strong opinion that we face a bit of a child care crisis here in Costa Mesa and Newport area, and there's just not enough kind of care for new parents. So we face a lot of challenges in getting folks to both accept our offers and then come move to the area. Once we get them, they tend to stay. We have pretty excellent benefits. Every single one of those employees I mentioned is a shareholder in the company, so we're all kind of incentivized for the long haul. And then mostly we do pretty well with mission-driven folks. As mentioned, we serve the military. We're about 20% veterans at the company, and people who come work for us tend to be pretty passionate about that, tend to be very patriotic and want to stay and see their products through. So on the retention side, it works, but on the attraction side, it's hard. It's expensive to live here.
Molly, what are the challenges you guys see at South Coast Plaza?
I'm going to speak on behalf of my retailers, because that's really where most of the struggle comes from, and it's getting those first-time jobs out there. The retail environment has some tough hours sometimes, so it's getting those individuals who have now not the opportunity to work from home. We're a very physical environment, so getting those individuals to come in and want to stay there, and starting wages. They are extremely competitive right now. The loyalty of employees at South Coast is incredible, but they do change from retailer to retailer. They jump between them, and it's really about that growth and opportunity that they can provide. But I echo the child care. You've got a lot of starting off moms or two-income families, and child care and just the cost of living in Costa Mesa, so getting the individuals to be able to drive in from those further environments for those frontline jobs.
I think every business has been impacted by the COVID period of time where people learn to work differently. How has that affected you? And Molly, not only how has that affected you, but how does a company like Amazon, I mean, you can get up in the morning and you can look what you need and have it shipped to your house. what do you do to make South Coast, and you obviously do it because it's growing and growing and growing and doing more for the community. How do you keep it fresh and alive and overcome those challenges?
I think it's the level of boutiques that we offer. You can't find most of the products that we offer on Amazon. Amazon's convenient, and I love to get toilet paper from there, but you're not gonna find that at South Coast. So it's a compliment, but it is around getting the individuals. You know, we never stopped going. I think one of the greatest things that we got from COVID was you took that sociability away from people. And what the youth and, you know, my generation, you took that away and they wanted to be back. So traffic is better than it was prior. People, you know, the internet is a compliment. They do a lot of their research. But when you are shopping at the type of boutiques that we work hard to have at South Coast, you want to go and touch that item. You want to go and smell that leather. You want to go and feel it. You want that catered service of them giving you a champagne glass when you buy that new Birkin bag. There's a sense of the experience that goes with it, right? All of you are going in today to buy that? Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But it's about the experience. So it's, you know, again, how do we entice people to come in? I think one of the hard things is, you know, my first job was at 14 at the Gap. I've not left a mall since. I've been in every day since then. But in that essence of that was the place to go. And, you know, that front line entry job we struggle with because they all want to be social media mavens. They're all going to be Instagram stars. Right. So getting that first job, which again, a lot of that stereotypical job at a mall is that first job. So that enticing the youth to come out and want to, you know, really engage this craft is something that we struggle with.
Matt, so you probably faced the work at home effort during the COVID stages where people perhaps got accustomed to working at home. Not only the people that perhaps you had working for you, but the people you had to try to attract into your business. What kind of challenges has that presented? And what do you do about getting people effectively back acclimated into an office workplace?
I appreciate your optimistic use of the past tense of faced challenges. That's very, very generous of you. Yeah, I have pretty strong opinions about remote work, and I think remote work is categorically bad, which I suspect in this room of business owners in the local community is probably probably going to go over pretty well. Maybe not as much in the tech employee room, but definitely here. Our thesis as a company is that there is a magic, there is a chemistry, there are neurons firing when you get people around a whiteboard to say, how are we going to solve this problem? How are we going to create this new technology? How are we going to invent a new thing? And that is basically impossible to replace when you're staring at a screen. I do think that there is a position for remote work, especially in more kind of transactional or more sort of procedural types of jobs. So whether that's call center types of things, whether that's maybe customer service types of environments. But for us, a very engineering heavy culture, we find a lot of value in that. So we've struggled a little bit. We've had a little bit of churn of folks who, you know, moved to Montana. So literally they moved to Montana and I would go dialing in from there and we're like, hey, come back, and they won't. That's been a bit of a struggle, but as you see from the headlines, Amazon's mandating people back, Microsoft is mandating people back. This is the trend of the industry to move this way. I would also note that at Anduril we build physical things, unlike a lot of our technology competitors. So as I see the table of firefighters here and a table of policemen over there is like there's a physical element that's just not going to be replaced to what we do. That's like you got to get out there and work with your hands. And for us, it's building the drones, testing the drones, putting the submarines in the water, that kind of stuff. So about half our company is just completely irreplaceable from remote work, even if we wanted to. And then the rest of them, we fight, we try to hold the line. And of course, there's always the, oh, but I bought a house, I don't want to come back, those sorts of things. It's a struggle, but we're about 85-ish% now fully back in office. So it's working, but it's tough.
So you said at the very end, I bought a house. And
yeah.
That drives, I think, a lot of the issues with remote work.
Absolutely.
And we talked a couple weeks ago, we had a call and we were talking about the challenges faced because of housing. Whoever, Matt, I want you to cover it, but the other panelists cover the challenges associated with the housing crisis.
You want me to jump in?
I'll
first?
take. I take it. You take
You
it.
go for it.
All right. Okay. So as mentioned, a lot of our jobs are sort of technician or more entry level jobs. You know, folks who are forklift driving and are building drones or are out kind of piloting drones, those sorts of things where they're not particularly high wage jobs. And those folks, just to be blunt, cannot afford to live here. So a lot of those folks are living up in San Bernardino, Ontario, Chino maybe. They're driving 45 minutes, an hour. And we all know the traffic on 91. That's a little optimistic. Like it's really hard. So then in the competitive market, despite the loyalty, despite some of our great benefits, it's really hard to justify that extra time to come in to work those types of jobs. So I feel pretty passionately, and I'm glad to have the mayor's support in this and city council's support in this, that we need to invest as a community in more housing here, because there are a multitude of jobs, whether that's our jobs, whether that's Molly's retail jobs, or whether that's entry-level teachers, entry-level public servants, entry-level government employees at the city. Like, we are going to price those folks out of our city, and in the long run, we are going to become a sort of a playground for the very wealthy and the retirees who've been here forever, and like that leaves this gap of folks for who, like, there's a whole category of employment that's going to be really hard to find. So I'm glad to have the city taking this as a tier 1 issue that we have to prioritize, because we need the houses.
Thank you. Yeah. Molly or Joshua, do you have anything to add to that?
Again, it goes back into the traffic and driving in, and a lot of our front line is driving from that far, and it's the sense of that quality time, which is where you're battling against getting the people back to a physical location to work, is the time that is wasted in their cars and that. So if we don't bring the housing to us, we won't have the employees. So we need to bring that here.
All right, Joshua, anything?
Nothing to add. I think Molly nailed it.
Okay, so Joshua, though, I want you to tell everybody, because we have this new thing that's happening in Costa Mesa. Everybody knows what happened at Grants for Guns. You know, we have now Costa Mesa Eats with all those kitchens there. And you have something kind of similar that's going to happen at Northgate Market, the incubator concept. Yes. And tell people about the incubator concept, what you're doing there, and how that's going to generate jobs, not just at Northgate Market, but beyond.
One of the most innovative areas of this new mercado in Costa Mesa is an area that we're calling incubator community kitchens. And because we have such a passion behind food and the resources to be able to help those people that are also passionate about the food business, whether it's a category of food, whether it's a recipe they believe has potential, we are using these community kitchens. It's 3 full kitchens that are used for community members to be able to come in, produce their product, and then we help them with a lot of the back end, food safety, how do you get insurance, how do you cost a product, how do you price a product. So that's part of what we're doing, and we're really excited about it, because not only will it help entrepreneurs and community members improve their lives, but it'll also improve our mercado experience and the products that we sell at Northgate.
All right.
Joshua, I love the creativity of the store. You talked about your first store and how the company has grown and how each operation is bigger and all these employees and things like that. So how do you go to a city like Costa Mesa, and how has it been to come into town with a new concept and convince the people at the city that you know what you're doing, that you want to try some new things and get their buy-in? I know John was kidding earlier about we all want to know when it's going to open, but how complex has the opening been as far as working with the city?
Like I said, we've been wanting to come to Costa Mesa for 20 years, and the experience has been nothing but the best. I mean, the city has been very helpful, has helped us with resources, has been super engaged in helping through the entire process. So we couldn't be happier, and the support level has been incredible.
Well, I know if you have when you put in 3 restaurant areas, you always got to deal with like the fire marshal. If you got any problems with that, we can call him up, and there he is.
Well, I know Joshua did a really good job. He brought us up to his place in in Anaheim and talked to some council members about their vision, and he was so passionate about it. I was so impressed, and then he did the exactly right thing. He served us tacos. and that just puts you over the edge.
Thank you.
So I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about, because we're here, as I said, as a community. We're here, you have all the city leaders here, and you have community leaders. How do you work with the city? How can we support you? How can other people in this room, the Chamber, South Coast Metro Alliance, how can we support you to create more jobs and make your businesses even stronger every day?
Okay, I guess I'm up. Well, I think the first thing is by visiting our mercado. I think that's the first. Bringing your families and friends and experiencing what we have to offer. And I think that's the main thing, having communication both ways so that we can improve all the time and get better and serve the community better.
At South Coast, we use the city partnerships for a lot. When you think about our partners in police and keeping it safe and protected and making our employees and our guests feel safe. In the construction and fire, with John was out there yesterday getting our Hermes event going. The partnership through the city and South Coast, we couldn't do it alone, and we wouldn't want to. And all of the employees of the city, they answer the phone when you call. And I think that is so important. I think all of them are scared when my name pops up on the phone, but half the time it's solved way before that. And it's really, truly that partnership to continuing to sponsor new businesses. The faster we can get more retail spaces open, the faster we can get employees working, the faster we can make more sales that generate the income. So again, it's that round robin, we're all in this together. So continuing that solid partnership of a two-way is unrevocably the most important thing.
Matt?
First of all, along those lines, has there been a problem in the past that if you were going to give the city a recommendation on different areas that it might improve on? Is there something along those lines, or are you good?
Way to put me on the spot there.
Wow, that wasn't in our prep session.
No. I'm just curious
about.
if we're talking about the ease of city and the importance of getting things open and things like that.
Yeah.
Have there been challenges that have been presented that you believe there are ways to overcome?
It's a good question.
Any permit process is never fast enough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I want the store open yesterday. So I think continuing that, and it's not on one side of just the cities. We've also got retailers that are coming in, and some of them are European. They've never been through the process before. So it is that, that process of how do we all make it faster and more efficient. I think Tessa is a great example. And there was a cheat sheet, John, up there that told you what Tessa stood for.
Oh,
You
really?
could read really close.
All right.
John was the only one in the room that didn't see it behind
all
him where
see
it
it.
said.
I was trying to maintain
He
eye
kept saying,
contact.
I don't know what Tessa stands for, and we're all looking at the screen. It says
We're
exactly
like,
what it
we
stands
know.
All right. Well, I'm the last to know.
But anything that we can streamline is beneficial. But again, not that anything is broken, but the way that we can do permits and help them along the way is definitely always a hindrance.
Matt?
Yeah, so we have taken a falling down, borderline condemned building in partnership with Steel Wave, roughly doubled the square footage, added thousands of heads that will be there, where we're going to be welding things, building jet engines and testing them on site, and building this crazy R&D campus there. So from a complexity with the city concept, I'm not sure it gets a whole lot more complex. And to the mayor's point, and then to Molly's point as well, what we've really appreciated is having an excellent partnership and people who will pick up the phone as we embark on all of these things, where we don't feel as though we are sort of flailing or chirping and nobody's listening to us. We can pick up the phone and call, and somebody will answer the phone, direct us to the right place. And we have excellent partnerships with the fire department, with the city management, with the police department, with the building department, the planning department, and kind of help streamline all of that. I agree. I wish it was yesterday. I always wish it was yesterday. I've got employees chirping at me. I've got government customers chirping at me. I've got investors putting pressure on. Of course, I wish it was yesterday and faster. But at least we have a willing partner. At least we have folks willing to engage and help us kind of navigate creative solutions as we embark on this pretty complex renovation of the campus.
All right, thank you. So any parting shots, anything you think we left out?
Wow,
Silence.
that's open-ended.
Silence, of course.
Again, for me, I just want to thank all of our partners. I don't say it enough, but we could not do it without each and every one of you in this room, whether you are a Costa Mesa employee or a resident or just a shopper. We all make each other stronger, and truly in that theme of the state of the city right now, but truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I mean, I feel so blessed to have joined the Segerstrom family and South Coast. And it has been, almost 2 years, and the warmth and open arms and the partnerships that we have built through each and every one of you, again, truly on behalf of my team, thank you. Thank you. And thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome.
From our behalf, also thank you. Like I said, we're very excited to be here, and it's a great opportunity. Thank you.
All right. Matt?
We're very proud, very happy Costa Mesa residents here at Anduril, and grateful for the partnership. Anduril.com/careers, we're hiring. If any of you software developers, hardware engineers, send them my way. I'll be in the back collecting resumes.
At the money you were mentioning, Stefano, our fire chief, passed me a note and said, do they need somebody in their fire area? So, good candidate.
So that, thank you. Let's hear it for the panel. Let's hear it for Tom Johnson. Tom Johnson and I had a podcast. And you can find the podcast on OC Talk if you really try. Tom forensically tried to remove it from the internet, but if you really try, you could do it. So thank you, Tom. You're a good friend. Thank you to the chamber. Thank you to the chamber. And the most important thing is when you have these events, when you're the chamber or your city, you have these events, and the thing you fear the most is no one's going to show up. Okay? And so thank you to each one of you, every single one of you, with the energy, with the passion that you brought to it, and with the enthusiasm made this event what it was. Thank you very much. And the city of Costa Mesa, because of you, is stronger every day.